Hello guys, this is Joshua Horse here. As you can tell by the title of the video, I'm doing a film review for Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. The film that started it all. This was the first ever Star Wars film that came out, so that's probably one of the reasons I like this film. It's not my top 5 or anything, but part of the reason why I like it is because I appreciate it, because it's the reason that Star Wars is still a thing today. Like, it's the reason why probably my favorite movies, like my favorite franchise, is Star Wars. Like, Marvel, DC are great, but Star Wars is still my favorite movie franchise. So I always have to kind of give this a little bit of extra points of praise, because if it weren't for this film, there wouldn't be any other Star Wars films. So yeah, but let's get into the review. Overall, it's a good movie. I don't think it's this. I think the thing is, at the time it came out, it felt like this huge blockbuster. It felt like, from the time it came out, it felt like Avengers Endgame kind of level of just blockbuster, huge extravaganza kind of thing. But now, in terms of that situation, the film hasn't aged well, because it no longer feels like this big blockbuster. But it is aged well in the sense that it's still a good film, and this film came out in 1977. Yes, this is a special edition, but it's pretty much the same movie, I believe. So yeah, but overall it's a good film. It's just a fun film. It's not my favourite in terms of cool moments and stuff. It's just a fun, enjoyable film, so I can't really get mad at it. Okay, so what's the plot of this movie? I like the fact that the plot's very simple and easy to know. It's basically the rebel spies, which are in Rogue One, have got the Death Star plans to the rebels. And Princess Leia puts the plans of the Death Star into R2-D2, and R2-D2 and C-3PO crash on Tatooine as they went to an escape pod to escape from the Empire, who's just invaded their ship. And the Empire rule the galaxy. This is based after pretty much all the Jedi are dead. So yeah, so they're basically in Tatooine. They went searching him, and then Luke comes in, Luke Skywalker. Then we meet Ben Kenobi, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Luke is one with the Force. He wants to become a Jedi and join this battle and take R2-D2, who has the plans with him, to the rebels, so they can just destroy the Death Star. So basically, the entire plot is they need to just destroy the Death Star, which is a weapon that, in case you didn't know, can destroy an entire planet. A classic trope of Star Wars, but I like the trope. It's like you can't really get anything more danger of tense than you can destroy a planet. Really. So yeah. So the cast in this film is really good. Mark Hamill's really good as this kind of young Luke Skywalker who's quite arrogant. He doesn't know who he is. He doesn't really get the Force. He hasn't really learned it, and he's learning it. He was really good at that character, so I really liked him. Alec Guinness as old Obi-Wan Kenobi is really good. Ian McGregor plays this nice young, kind of slip back, relaxed kind of Obi-Wan Kenobi, and he plays the more wiser Obi-Wan Kenobi. I mean, it makes sense that within those 19 years, I believe, because he's 19, Luke's 19 in this film, between the films, when he kind of gets involved and he stays within 19 years to look after Luke, and there's going to be a whole TV show focused on what happened during that time, I believe. So that'll be quite fun. And of course, he's going to be wiser over time. He's got the experience. He's got the knowledge of the Force. He is going to effectively be quite wise, really wise. So I like the fact that he played a more wise of interpretation of the character, the original interpretation of the character. Harrison Ford, really good as Han Solo, as the smuggler. He's kind of the character to play the actor to play Han Solo. He's so iconic. This main cast is just kind of iconic with Star Wars. So yeah, Chewbacca's great in this film. I like him. He gets to play more of emotion through the other films. You kind of get to feel for him more in the future films. I mainly think because of his status, newer films that come out, you care about him kind of more. I know that's not a popular opinion, but he kind of has these cool moments more. Maybe just the way they use the character. I'm not sure what it is really, but I just kind of like him more in the new films. He's still good in this film though. Carrie Fisher, of course, iconic as Leia, perfect actress. And all the characters, it's a star-studded cast because it's crazy though, because at the time, I don't think the main characters were very well known. I mean, the actors who played the main characters, I don't think they're really well known for anything else. I think this was their only kind of big thing, and at the time, they didn't even think it was going to be that big or that big of a success. So this was actually quite a funny story. Apparently, they were allowed to give like their friends and families the script for the film because they didn't think it was gonna do as well as it did. It just thought it'd be a nice, fun film. So yeah, but it turns out being a lot more. They thought it would just be alright, but it turns out it became a much bigger thing. So because they didn't think this film was gonna be as big as it was, they kind of got these actors who are not very like well known in. Which kind of makes kind of sense. I prefer that kind of idea with movies, especially with Star Wars, is that you don't need to bring in these big names, big stars like The Rock in Star Wars. Just hire the best actors for that character, and because it has Star Wars in the title of the film, people will see it. Doesn't matter about the stars with Star Wars, because you literally all you need to have on the poster for film, and if it's a Star Wars film, you have to mention Star Wars. That's all you need. You don't need a star-studded cast for people to see the film. It just needs to say Star Wars, and people will watch it. So yeah, the casting was great. James Earl Jones is the voice of Darth Vader. It's kind of perfect. It gets better in the future films, but still good here. It's kind of, I'm not sure. It sounds different in this film, but I'm not sure what it is. It sounds a little worse. But in the new films, he kind of sounds more daunting, scary in the future films. So, yeah, the cast was great. It was a nice, simple story. It had one clear narrative, which is good because when I'll speak more into this when I get to my Star Wars Episode 5 review, which is overall a better film. I felt like, though, it didn't have a clear narrative. But anyway, I just felt kind of like it was kind of just stuck in the middle, couldn't really do anything. But yeah, this had one clear narrative, and overall the action, it's great for its time. It's very progressive in terms of its time, but not all the action kind of works well in modern day. Like the Obi-Wan Kenobi gets in the lightsaber duel with Darth Vader. In my opinion, the worst lightsaber duel in Star Wars. It's very boring, very slow. You don't have any tensions. In my opinion, the best lightsaber fight is either the one in episode 6 or 7 near the end of the films. But anyway, this was just, it was it's good. Overall, the action was pretty good. The trench run scene was pretty good. It's not as good as a modern viewer, but still, it's still cool. It's pretty cool to see. And there was this line that Obi-Wan Kenobi tells Luke. And in episode 9, Luke says that exact line Obi-Wan told him to Rey. It's kind of passing the torch kind of thing. And I was just like... Sorry. I just thought it was really cool when I heard that. I was like, wow, that's actually really cool that you tied him in that way. Sorry, there's a little thing on the screen I'm looking at. So yeah, it was really cool how they tied it in that way. But overall, though, the film's fun. It's not... But at the time, it would have been this huge blockbuster movie. It is kind of a blockbuster. But for now, it doesn't feel like... In modern day films, it doesn't feel as like a blockbuster. It just feels like a nice, fun, enjoyable film. And that's sometimes what you can ask. Because a movie doesn't need to be this huge endgame extravaganza or the Dark Knight trilogy, big deal, blockbusters. Pretty much all the MCU films, for the most part, they do. Pretty much definitely all the Avengers films, they don't need to have that big deal blockbuster thing to make it a good entertaining film. This is a good entertaining film, and in modern day eyes, it's not really that big of a blockbuster. It's still an action, sci-fi film. I reckon, I probably think Star Wars is its own genre right now, but whatever. So overall, I enjoyed it. It was a great cast. The story was really nice, simple, clear to see, which is different from most stories, like the prequels. You probably need to watch a couple times to kind of get the gist, because I didn't fully understand them the first time I watched them. But this film, you can understand it in your first seating of the film, and that's really good in that opinion. You don't need to have full attention. You should pay attention because it's just quite a fun film, but it doesn't feel like you need as much attention as like the other Star Wars films or Joker or something like that. You don't need as much attention for this. So overall, the film's fun. That's all I can say. It's a nice, fun, enjoyable film. I would give it a 7 out of 10. So, have you seen this film? If you did, let me know in the comment section below. What did you think of this movie? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you thought it was meh? Or do you think it's the best film of all time? So yeah, 7 out of 10 is what I'd give it. But yeah, you can have a different rating for mine, it's fine. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn notifications on so you never miss a video. And I'll see you all in the next video. Bye guys.